reaching towards realities and Divinely energies, then alhamdulillah, and everything that we do in our contemplation and tafakkur is to reach to the energy, reach to the presence of the powers of energy, the central power of energy. And that's why they specify what line do you think you're going to hold? What electrical outlet are you planning on plugging into? If you say, Allah, it's impossible and you will never reach. This is the belief that shayateen wants to propagate. He doesn't accept anything but Allah and wants to deviate people with pride and arrogance, and they think they're with Allah. And Allah for them has many different names. Whatever you call it by, you still won't reach. And this way of reality has a door, and the only way to La ilaha illallah is through Muhammadun Rasulullah. For dunya, then this has to be taught, and if people wait for akhirah, then yawmul mashar, shafaat kubra, in which Allah makes all of the people of resurrection to run to the presence of Prophet for interceding, which is a raising of vibration and the destruction of lower realities that may try to attach upon the soul. Everything is based on reaching to that door, reaching to that reality. And Prophet's door to that reality is going to be based on the good character, good manners and testing, all of which we endure of testing is a gift if God has opened for you to meditate. Without meditation, testing brings anger, confusion, disappointment. Because every time something happens you become angered, confused or disappointed. Why and how, and complaining. And if the test is big enough, then people get shaken and lose their connection to the Divine. The gift that God has given in the schools of ascension, everything on this dunya is based on tanzila, is descending, because this is the lower abode. And our entire reality is for ascension, to return to the higher abode. Throughout Qur'an Allah describes tanzila rahmah, to show that it's coming from a higher source to you, and that tanzila, you came from the heavens. Sayyidina Adam came from the heavens, every child's soul comes from the heavens, and this is the lower abode. And this is not the abode in which you are to ask for God to come, it's an insult. God doesn't tanzila, doesn't come to the lower abode. This life is not about bringing God to earth, bringing your desires to earth, but for us to ascend, and that's much more different. Because the ascension then requires equipment and tools. How does one ascend into the heavens with a physical body and a soul? The ascension then is going to be through disciplining the physical body and empowering the soul. That has to, and that discipline has to be understood. Our life is about the ascension, that we are a heavenly creature sent upon this earth, sent down onto this earth, and asking for mercies to be sent down to reach us like supplies for people stuck on an island. And our life is to ascend into the heavens and to reach back to our reality. And that becomes then the reality of contemplation and tafakkur and meditation on how to reach to the energy, how to understand that everything for the soul and ascension is about breaking free from the physical realm. Meditation and contemplation is not about the physical body, not about physical sustenance, not about your physicality, not about the condition of the physicality, but everything related to tafakkur and contemplation is how to reach to the divine powers and divine oceans of power. When that's clearly understood, then the importance of Prophet is now becomes relevant. If we're trying to reach to the ocean of power, then they define that ocean as the soul of Sayyidina Muhammad like a rope. That God gives to us a rope that by loving Him making our durood and salawat and pray and praise upon His reality, thanking God for that reality, loving that reality, a rope of relief is extended to us. And with our soul we reach to that rope. Leaving the physicality to get to the spirituality is the manners. When the soul wants to ascend, the physicality has to be disciplined through the good deeds and good character. The good character is a battle because the nature of character is bad, it's not its nature good. Physicality is governed by Satan and the ego, evilness and the ego. We said the grey would be lost, so now we look into the earth and they want to normalize evil that people can't even imagine, doesn't come into their reference. This the extent of how evil that existence is. What evil thrives on, what evil survives on, what brings pleasure to evilness. This is the physical realm that veiled itself, hid itself, perfumed itself so that people would not see its stench, its wretchedness, would not smell its stench and wretchedness. To the extent where it painted like something was beautiful. And all spiritual books describe that. But nobody truly understands until seclusions and spiritual awakenings. The extent of evilness can't be understood on this dunya. And what people see of beatific realities from physical eyes, not spiritual beautification, are the illusions and delusions of shayateen. that they are broadcasting delusions, and they're broadcast strong enough for the majority of people not to see it. And they say, no, this is beautiful, this is great, everything's fantastic. Those are lies, those are fake news. But when we said, and the world is saying, there's not Islam, because Islam is like the least advanced and least prepared for what's coming on this earth. But the other people of faith or whatever they think they believe in, they're the ones telling us that God's kingdom is coming. As a result, you may have the wrong understanding of God's kingdom, but if the majority of this creation starts to say God's kingdom is coming, then God's kingdom is coming. Unfortunately, God's kingdom is not the kingdom you thought. And as His kingdom begins to enter into this frequency, everything begins to shatter. This is not heavens and these are not paradises. As God's kingdom begins to come into this frequency that shaitan is broadcasting, all of the delusions begin to crack. Like somebody broadcasting and casting an image into your eyes that everything is very beautiful, and now God's kingdom is coming and shattering the frequency, in which is like a TV. And that which they hijacked our eyes to see is not seeing that anymore, because His kingdom is coming. Say, no. This wickedness that not even human that rules this abode, whom its desires the flesh and bones of men, that rules this world. Something they can't imagine, and what its shakl is like, what its look is and its an appearance is like, is nothing like you've seen except maybe in movies. Their system to manipulate what you see and what your eyes see, as that kingdom comes, it's now shattering. People now begin to see different things in the sky that was veiled from them, begin to feel different things that were veiled from them. Now the whole earth will hear things of what they eat, what they do, what type of energy are they thriving on. Why would these people get together and do these horrific things? Because of the negative energy that they thrive from. As a result, that kingdom now shattering all the illusions and delusions of the physical world. And if you've ever visited somebody in a hospital or seen a movie of somebody very powerful in a hospital and dying and everybody coming, you're gonna be okay, don't worry, you're gonna go jogging again. So he's not going jogging again, he's gonna be dead, he's not gonna be okay, it's not coming back. This is the final chapter. But what we see is that people's inability to grasp that understanding. It's gonna be great, it's gonna come back, it's all fantastic. none of it is coming back because His kingdom is coming. Who knows? That you can argue about later. Right now when the kingdom comes, it seems to be shattering all of these vibrations because everything lived in the grey. The white, those were spiritual people, they could see the reality. The black, they were straight out evil, you knew that they were evil, they liked to even say they were evil. Everything else was grey, we don't know what it is, it looks beautiful, is it beautiful? I don't know. But now that the kingdom comes closer, everything is shattering. Whatever systems those shayateens had and creatures have, it now is being shattered by divine codes coming in. Things be seen, characters to be understood, and dunya to vanish. Like Allah describes in the Qur'an, like they have fields of food and vegetation and Allah in one shout begins to dry and shatter it. And they come out rolling their hands, what happened? What happened to everything? It'll come back, we'll bring it back. You're not bringing anything back because the kingdom is coming. That kingdom shatters every code, every deception and deceit. And as a result, you're either going to go to the dark and be outright evil, get crushed if you're trying to be in the grey, or through good character and tafakkur and contemplation, you hold tight to the rope of Sayyidina Muhammad, which requires the good character. Because the good character is a sign of angelic lights. If the sign of satanic energies and lower vibration energies, the good and false they don't go together. That's why the testing becomes very difficult. Continuous testing, continuous testing. Why? Because like a charge, that when you put a charge into something you can see the hidden realities within it. You know, there are creatures within people that lie dormant. They show sometimes on this television, these people have a way of fishing with electricity. They put a charge into the water and everything comes up dead. Means things that reside within us, deeply hidden, and we're asking to move to the light, stay within the light, connect to that light. Well, truth and falsehood they don't go together. You cannot fake the world of light. That's what other people are not understanding. People will say, oh we'll just pretend we're going to that light and try to hold on. Its nature doesn't have imitation and faking because they send a very powerful charge. As soon as you touch that charge, every evilness within the person will come out. Like trying to be a fish in the ocean where the guy's putting an electrical prod, there's no fish coming out like that unless they're an electric eel where the charge doesn't bother them. Means that when this kingdom of light is coming and we're asking to reach to that kingdom of light and to enter into its vicinity, to be dressed by its realities, the charge is so significant that every type of evilness that hidden within us, because we're trying to act like the oceans of power reaching to them, oceans of sincerity, but the hidden serpents within us come out with this electricity, with this energy. which result in bad character, bad manners. And the only way to succeed or fall to the dark side, the only way to succeed is the fight against the self. Every time the dark serpent is exposed through energies, through tafakkur, through realities, through teachings, through whatever experience Allah is going to be sending upon the earth, then it's for people to contemplate, meditate and keep their character in relationship to the heavens. And this has to do with spiritual practices, not the coming across evil. Evil is evil, and truth and evil, they don't have anything to do with each other. This has to do with the people on truth and good light and good character and good practices. As a result, even in their goodness they become angered. Even in their associations of goodness they become angered. Even in the homes of goodness they become angered. And that's when the testing is that shaitan has to go. Without that, impossible to hold to these ropes of light. That's why they meditate every night, that I caught a couple of these, Ya Rabbi, I feel this coming out, grant me strength, ask for forgiveness, make durood al-sharif upon Prophet, Ya Nabi al-rahmah, I'm asking for your intercession. Identify the snakes that are coming out so that they can be taken away. If you don't identify and take them, those snakes will take you away. Because at some point you will release your hand from that light, because it comes, the energy comes and everything evil is coming out. Because they're not going to let you go into that light with that and those occupants within you. Nobody's coming with this their soul, they come with their soul and a whole lot of garbage. Their nafs has picked up over their lifetime many wicked things within themselves that they don't even know, or maybe they do know. What they've done, what they've been put upon them, those have to come out. And that's why when people are observing, they should observe, because Allah says, we show you within yourself and then we show you upon the horizon. So the horizon you look and say, look people are seeing things in the sky now, opening up in the sky. People see this, then people see, oh look what these people were doing, and reveal these things, and all the things that are being disclosed and opened and talked about. That's on the horizon. All of that you have within you. So there's no difference. Anything that we see, it's just a macro of a micro. Whatever you see you have within you, whatever character we see on this earth, we have that character within ourselves. The one inside us has to be destroyed before you can be free from the one outside of you. You pray that people every night just sit with yourself in all honesty and talk, Ya Rabbi, Ya Sayyidi, Ya Rasul Kareem. If you know how to meditate, then ask for the shaykh to be present. So it's not you and your shaitan. You and your shaitan will say, you're great, don't worry about anything, you're perfect, everyone else was wrong. If you ever hear that everyone else was wrong, you're talking to your shaitan. If you ever connect to the shaykhs and to energies they're going to tell you everything you did was wrong. The shaykh will never agree with you. Everything you did is wrong because you have to find you're the problem, not people the problem. Psychosis, mental illness, everybody else is wrong. I'm right. This is dunya. You pay a therapist $400–500 an hour and they tell you, you're right and all your people are wrong, and especially your family. You pay a shaykh far less and he'll tell you, you're the problem and don't worry about other people's graves. We don't say they're right, but they have their own grave, they're going to have their own issue. You're the one wrong, and then you don't go back again. That's why their offices are far less people than other people. Other people you give them fee and they tell you you're right, and they come back again, I give you more, tell me I'm right again, you're right, your parents are bad. But you go to the people of heavens and they say, look, we don't care about anyone else, which is you're wrong. But they said, he said, she said, you're wrong. Then they don't like to come back anymore, because this is about my grave, to reach to my reality and fight my demons. If we should succeed, we move towards the light. If we should fail, the overwhelming tide of negativity will pull, because the majority of people will be following Dajjal. And this is from the greatness of Prophet's teachings, that for us he gave the word Dajjal, means deception. Nothing like Antichrist, because we love Christ. And they don't even understand English. Antichrist, and people come in the comments, you guys are the Antichrist. How could I be Antichrist when I tell you we love Christ? Our book is praising Sayyidina Isa and we wait for his arrival to clarify for you and your tongue. Look for the one whom despise him, hate him, deplore him and wrote evil against him, and you should find your Antichrist people. It's your own English that you don't understand. But for us who understand English, Prophet brought for our nation deception. These are the great deception that comes onto the earth. We're in that right now. Everything from their AI, which is 19. A1 I9. Because we have 19, which is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Shaitan is always angered by heavenly realities, he makes his own satanic reality. All knowledge comes from the 19 of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Shaitan doesn't have that door. So he made for these people an AI, artificial intelligence, which is his integration into the jinn world. There's no software, software doesn't do anything. We described to you in many videos, the jinn reside within your motherboard. The silica chip, silicone chip is their residence. They designed these systems, they designed their homes and said, build for us these and we will reside within these devices and facilitate everything for you, so that, not to tell them that, but one day you would be subservient to us. We will lock your face we will lock your hands and we will lock your heart. And exactly what they've done through these devices. All of that is from their realm to bring in the false 19, awwal al-akhirah. And the real 19 is from the heavens and the reality of Prophet. Wal awwal, the first thing that Allah created is the soul of Sayyidina Muhammad wa khatam al-anbiya wa khatam al-nubuwwah, and the seal of all prophecy, the 9, and Sayyidina Muhammad. And Dajjal coming saying, he's the 19, he's the Alpha and the Omega, he's the first and he is the last. So it's like a bad Spider-Man movie. One's the truth and the arch nemesis is coming, but he's copying everything from the truth. Why are you seeing AI and AI company? There is no AI, it's all the jinn world. The jinn is talking to you, giving you directions, giving you information, everything, because this is the Dajjal system. Because Dajjal is a jinn who is going to veil himself, and the Dajjal system is deception. So now everything you see is an AI. Is that guy alive? I don't know, it's an AI. What was that event? It's AI. What was this? Everything now is an AI. Nobody knows what is the real and what is the conjured image or truth or news that these shayateen are bringing, and that is the sign of the Dajjal. When Prophet described that Dajjal will even bring your dead descendants to come and speak to you. Already they have it. They take your photo and animate photos of people. Oh, it could be 1,000-year-old photo, it doesn't matter. The jinn look at it and then replicate the image and it moves and talks for you. Everything that Prophet has described is already here. So this is a time in which to reach to the light, not to the darkness, not to bad character, and to build the connection to the ropes of light, the tariqahs. They are a rope from the presence of Prophet. When you come against that rope, you cut your connection to that reality, and when you hear that whispering, this is shaitan coming and trying to cut your connection. We said before, I think they've even had images of it, that you're holding something very difficult to hold, and every waswas, whisper and bad character, bad emotion, any impoliteness within you is burning that connection, so that to release from their presence and from the presence of the shaykhs, which is the connection to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. The only grasp we have is not through strength but Allah's rahmah. If somebody told you, hold this bar, you're 10,000 feet in the air and below you is sheer death. It's not your strength that you're holding this many years on this bar or this many days. You have no strength. Even to pray you say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi aliyyil azim. So what keeps you holding to the shaykh and to the tariqah and to the love of Prophet? Your strength, your aqeedah, the hadith, 2 hadiths you memorized or 3 verses of Qur'an that you recited. Only thing that keeps your grip is Allah's rahmah. Only thing. When you hold Allah's mercy, Ya Rabbi don't lift your mercy from me. People don't understand what that mercy is because they haven't fallen yet. But when you fall, you'll understand what mercy was because you're now devoid of it. And the fall is very bad right now because the Dajjal, and the way that Dajjal will destroy everything about people. The very grip that we have is with rahmah, with mercy, with love that Sayyidi Ya Rasul Kareem, with our love for Prophet, our love for tariqah, love for the way, love for the Divine, Allah continues the rahmah. Haqq. When the bad character enters, the anger of Allah comes and the rahmah can go. Because we don't know at what point Allah gets angered, that rahmah there, and then at one moment no rahmah. There's enough and the person drops and falls. And awliya come to warn us that our khidmat, our service, our life, our good character is the only thing keeping us. That's how we're so much different than these external people. They think they memorize 4 books, they go out in debates, they argue. So you don't know what the heck you're doing, man. When you go out there yelling and insulting people and thinking the 3 hadith books that you know, that definitely you're not going to have any rahmah. There's no grip on your hand, as if you took your hand in butter and then held the pipe. You're going to flip right into calamities you can't imagine. What these Dajjals are going to do to you when God's rahmah finished with you, and the only thing that keeps us safe is Allah's rahmah, and that rahmah only comes with good character. Good character, because you can read wrong, you can make mistakes, you can do many things, but when your character is good, the khuluq, the character is exemplary, and that's why the testing to see the character. That is this a tamed creature or a wild dog? When it's wild and bad and aggressive, the mercy will go. Why would Allah keep the rahmah? If you were in the heavens, why would you keep? Somebody holding on, professing they love the way, they love Prophet, but all sorts of badness, bad character, bad anger, bad everything, and not changing. So why keep that one? And the mercy of Allah leaves. And they're not even asking every night that, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Grant me good character, grant me good character, as if badness is allowed. Then what? What would you do now with that wild and aggressive and bad character? Do you plan on entering now into the presence of Sayyidina Mahdi with that character? Where is it that you're going to go with that character? It's the finish line. Either you go in with good character or you go the other door. There's only but 2 doors, there's no third. When you're talking about heaven on earth, God's kingdom is coming, it's a very high station, because nobody thought that they're going to go into heaven with badness. That's why they were going to be punished in the grave. Nobody thought they're going to go with evilness and badness into heavens, because they were going to be punished on Yawm al-Mashar. There were 2 different cleaning points before you go to heaven. So if I did anything wrong, maybe the grave will have to clean me a bit. But then Allah gonna raise you and bring you Yawm al-Mashar, Judgment Day, where you're to be judged, punished during the time of judgment before you can enter into paradise. all of that is put aside and now God's kingdom is coming. There's no way to walk into that kingdom and keep these bad characters. That's why the khuluq was most important, not how much you memorize. That's not going to get you into that kingdom. Because with that memorization and the exterior knowledge, external knowledge you think you have gave you a lot of arrogance and bad character, that's not going to save you. So the thought that the kingdom of heavens is coming onto earth requires enormous amount of purity and cleanliness and good character. You can make mistakes but all night long ask for forgiveness. Do your life of service and khidmat, because you're not the gift but you can give a gift. You're not the prize. The prize was in your khidmat and service. As a result, all of this service, all this khidmat, all this love, all this good character is pleasing to the Divine, brings tanzil al-rahmah upon us. And then the du'as of Prophet, the du'a of all the ulul amr, and this keeps the grip firm. We pray that Allah give us a greater understanding and dress us from these lights and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, and for the sake of that love, if you truly love Prophet then for the sake of that love do everything with good character. Say, Ya Rasul Kareem, for the sake of your love I stay quiet, for the sake of your love I have good character, not for the other person but for the sake of the love of Prophet. You learn how to be quiet, humble yourself, have good character, not to disappoint Sayyidina Muhammad. And as a result the rahmah of Allah dressed the servant and strengthened their grip towards that reality until the day that their hand can reach the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa Nasir Surat al-Fatiha. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.